So over the past few weeks, we've been rolling out a new AI infrastructure to help franchisors sign new franchisees. And through that process, usually I get into a conversation with the franchisor about why it is that they started franchising in the first place. And usually the answer is something around either building enterprise value, they want to build a business in an industry that's typically not that easy to grow enterprise value, for example, like a plumbing company. And all of a sudden, when you build a franchising element to it and you scale that and show that it's working and you're consistently growing, your business becomes worth infinitely more than it would have as a plumbing company. The other is about freedom and just getting off the tools, transitioning to becoming a very different type of entrepreneur, somebody who, instead of building a business, delivering work, basically being a contractor, is somebody who is mentoring other entrepreneurs in an area that they know really well and shifting to kind of more coaching and a more mature kind of entrepreneur. And then the kind of next awkward step of that conversation is usually, is what we're currently doing putting us on a trajectory to arrive there, where we are going from, inconsistent franchise growth in many cases to churning out a consistent and predictable amount of deals that any investor could look at your company and say, okay, I see how you could be removed from that process and this would keep going. Or if you want to stick around, you can see how you're covering more territory, you're generating a lot more revenue. So in this video, I want to go through what I think is the most ignored but highest leverage points to getting there, bridging that gap, and basically sharing with you a framework to audit your own business in the way that we audit franchise development infrastructure, so that you can essentially get to this point of on autopilot, really efficiently signing lots of different franchisees. So if you don't know me, my name's Joe. I run Franchise Accelerator. We've worked with 50 plus franchisors to build in franchise development infrastructure, responsible for adding over 200 different franchise partners for our clients. So listen, this is how we think about franchise growth. Very first principles. If you want to sign franchisors, you need deals. Great. If you want to get deals, you need appointments. You need to talk to people who are interested in your franchise opportunity. If you want to speak to people that are interested in your franchise opportunity, you need leads. Very simple. If you want leads, you need attention. If you want attention, you need a good offer. But I'm assuming, by the way, in this video, I'm speaking to franchisors that have at least one franchisee. So you've had some kind of proof of concept of the model. So then within these, we've got three elements that we look at. Firstly is strategy. So the strategy is what you are doing and why. So for example, in lead flow, what is your lead flow strategy? Why are you doing that way? Execution is who is doing that. So who and how, like we've decided on a particular strategy. How do we turn that into actual physical things that are happening in the universe rather than just in our heads? And then systems we're looking at what have we got set up to make this happen over the long term? So things like SOPs, technologies, how are we making this scalable depending on how many leads you get? And so I'd invite you to basically look at your business and think, okay, lead flow, how many leads am I getting per month? Like in the last 30 days, how many leads did I get? What is my strategy for lead flow? Am I doing paid ads? Am I doing content? Am I doing cold outreach? Am I paying to be on a directory? Execution then is like, okay, who is doing that? Am I the person managing the ads? Am I working with an agency? If so, how much am I paying that agency versus how much am I getting in return in terms of actual cash in the bank? And then systems, looking at like, okay, what are the technologies we have in place? Do we have some kind of templates for creatives? Like, what are the things that we got in place to make sure that this can scale up or down? Then we're looking at appointment flow, same thing, looking at strategy, execution systems, and deal flow. So how many appointments am I getting per month? How many deals am I getting per month on average? Like, look at all of those numbers and have those numbers down, because understanding the heartbeat of your business is probably less common than you would think. Now, what I think is the biggest bottleneck, I want to show you some data because this is unbelievable to me. So this is data that comes from franchising.com and is from the 2024 annual franchise development report. So this took a bunch of different franchisors, got them to answer questions, took a bunch of their data in, and also gave them kind of like a mystery shopper task where someone would pretend to be a lead who's qualified and interested in their franchise opportunity and see what happened. So First things to pull out of here. This is all basic data on what's going on in this process. Cost per lead, $250. Cost per sale. So this is basically the amount of advertising and everything that went into making a sale. 11.6K. So let's call it 11.5K. So these were quite large franchisors. So if your franchise fee is something like, I don't know, 10 or 15K, you could probably get sales a lot cheaper than this. This is kind of an industry average. Lead to sales, though, you can probably treat that as a pretty decent benchmark. So when you're looking at your numbers, you're going through all of this audit process, your strategy, your systems, your execution. That's a decent benchmark to use. Now, these are all broker metrics here. So average broker fee around 27 to 30K. At the moment, 27.5K. I mean, looking at that, that's extremely high, but it's a good benchmark. If you've got a franchise fee anywhere between, 10 to 80K, this is probably generally based on an average of like 50 to 80K franchise fee. This is a good benchmark. Like, can you sign a franchisor for less than 27K? So these are kind of the overarching numbers. Like, this is what you should be benchmarking against. Now, this part is the part that's very interesting because this is all about appointments. So we're looking at phase 2 here of the process, which is taking people from being leads to being on an appointment and then hopefully shimming them over to the kind of lower levels of the funnel. So what are we looking at here then? So when a qualified lead calls an average franchise opportunity, 77% go to voicemail, 8% are answered and given help, 8% are answered by somebody who takes a message, 7% receive no answer and no voicemail, and 39% have no response to their voicemail after 24 hours. So that's calling. When a qualified lead responds to an online form, 22% get a call back in 4 hours, 31% get a call back in the first 24 hours, 41% get a call back at all. So most don't get a call back at all. 19% get no response at all, including call, text, or email. These numbers are absolutely insane to me. Because bear in mind, looking at the data, like, this is Harvard Business Review, right? This is Harvard Business Review. This is data on response time from first dials, 5 minutes versus 10 minutes. 400% decrease in odds of qualifying. This is 5 versus 10 minutes. Like, here we're talking about 4 hours, 24 hours, not responding at all. 5 minutes versus 10 minutes. Waiting 10 minutes instead of 5, 400% decrease. Imagine the effect of 4 hours, of 24 hours, of not responding at all, of voicemail. It's absolutely insane, especially when, we've just talked about these leads are $250. And that's just the cost of the lead. This isn't how much revenue or how much that lead would be worth to you if it's signed on average. This is just how much you're paying to even have the pleasure of speaking to this person. So if we start to model these numbers, it can get very scary. So let's say an average, or like a very modest and achievable for most franchise businesses, for any franchise business, would be, like $100 a day of ad spend. Let's say $3,000 a day of $3,000 a month of ad spend. Ad spend per month, right? And that would generally generate you 3 leads a day. Let's say on average, that would be, a very normal number. So leads per month would be, obviously 90. Now, okay, fine. So we're saying 90 leads. Like, how much is these leads worth? These leads are worth $250 each. So you're generating 22K of leads, right? So let's start to plug in some of these numbers now. So voicemail, 77%. So let's say, I don't know what that was, times 77%. So we're sending 17K to voicemail per month. Now, again, this is the cost of the lead. This isn't the value of a lead, which is a very different figure and could be multiples of this. Let's have a look at those that we are just not getting response to, right? So, no response, 19%. So, 4K per month of things that we paid for, we're deciding, nah, we'll just won't respond. Now, you can probably tell where I'm going with this. And again, this is why we've identified this area as the thing where we put a lot of our efforts. Because, I mean, look at this gap. Like, look how much room there is to improve the average franchise in this. And imagine what you could do if 0% went to voicemail. 100% were answered within 5 minutes and given help. 0% were answered by someone who takes a message. 0% voicemail. 0% no response. 100% get a call back if they fill out a form within 5 minutes. 0% get no call back. 0% get no response. Like, imagine what the figures would look like if you're looking at, you know, what you've written down in your audit. If you just optimized all of this to the max, because it's 2025. The reason that these numbers are as they are isn't because these franchisors don't know what they're doing. These are franchisors who went to a conference about franchising. Like, they take this incredibly seriously. It's because the technologies up to now, up to 2024, haven't been available. Like, what are the technologies that you use to deal with inbound leads? It's, number one, a receptionist who works 9 to 5 days a week. It's, if you're really on the high end, setting up a call center. If you want to really outperform, spending lots of money on a call center. It's what we've implemented on the higher end as our legacy kind of product was appointment setters. So a pair of people whose job it is to literally do this, answer the calls, follow up on leads, do all of this. But now there's a different option, which is, of course, AI. You can probably tell where I'm going with this, right? So what we're doing now is building in this AI infrastructure, which turns leads into qualified appointments. So it responds to them. It speaks to them on the phone, qualifies the lead. If they are qualified, it books them to an appointment. If they're not qualified, it triages them out, tags them. And like for some of our clients who are in this kind of bucket here, where they're getting leads and they're just not being handled, like that process to handle leads, either their delivery strategy or their execution strategy is to do it themselves, or it's, you know, they don't want to be spending on the call center, or they have a receptionist doing it. Just implementing this it's giving massive, massive returns. It's giving massive returns. And you only need small returns, really, from a percentage point to turn, you know, if we go back to our model, 90 leads per month. If you can increase the percentage of these that will go through and become a call. So let's say we're looking at a closing percentage of 10%. If we could take that from 10 to 15, this is huge amounts of money, you know. If we looked at this at 9 versus we looked at this, for example, at, well, maybe that's a bit optimistic, but at 18, if we could double our closing percentage through that entire process, and we're looking at a franchise fee, you know, of, you know, with most of our clients on average around 20K. We can just do this in K. You know, the differences are huge. And so the other kind of camp of people that we generally work with is they see this and they're like, okay, great, but I'm not getting loads of leads. Like, my problem is further upstream. So in that case, we have an in-house media buyer whose, you know, specialism is franchising, has done exclusively franchise advertising for their entire career, or at least the last 5 to 7 years. And we set up ads. Now, a bit of my background, if you don't know, is that I worked for a management consulting firm, and generally doing things like this for a client, there's no way that we would build this for you and just like release it to you and allow you to have it. One of the biggest priorities for any agency or any consultancy is retaining revenue, getting recurring revenue. And so what we would do is build an infrastructure like this and then essentially rent it to you. So we'd keep it in-house. We'd be like, great, we've got this IP. And then we'd rent it to you per month. And that would be ideal because you're dependent on the consultancy. That consultancy then got sold. I left, started my own thing with a business partner. And we take a very different approach because we know what the agencies don't want you to know, which is that setting up ads is a dream for an agency because it's so highly leveraged. One media buyer can manage 10, 15, 20, in some case, simple ad campaigns for different clients. And most of the work is done up front. So the value of that becomes exponential over the course of the lifetime. What we do instead is we literally build this for you, this whole thing, and we release it to you. It's yours. Like we spend 3 months. Usually everything we can build out in the first month, and then we spend a couple of months tweaking, making sure you get some results. And then managing an ad campaign, we can coach you on how to do it yourself. We can coach somebody on your team to do it. If you really want to keep us around to do it, it's going to be very cheap, reflecting, the fact that the hard work has already been done. The AI agent is essentially free to run. Dialing costs are less than a penny per minute. We'll build this agent for you, release it into your business, train it on all of your information, make sure it knows the kind of people you're looking for, what qualifies, what disqualifies people, the tone of voice you want to take, connect it with your calendars. Like we can do all of that. Like you don't need to keep paying for it. It will happen. It's a thing that happens once. That's where the value happens. And then for some people, we're a believer in bridging the entire gap, right? So most franchisors tell us that this part is less of a concern. You look at this kind of down funnel kind of percentages, and you're talking, a lot more like discovery days, for example. Like discovery days, we're talking like 70+%, 30+%. So, but just the fact that we've seen so many different processes, we can audit your sales process, give you sales scripts that already work, give you sales processes that already work, give you like a KPI set, give you some optimizations. We can't close the deals for you. If we could, we would love to, but you're going to have to do that yourself. But we can do that. Again, something that happens once, give you some recommendations, give you some templates and things like that. But all of this to say, like, if you're interested in trying this out for yourself, if you're skeptical about AI, I completely understand that. I was skeptical about AI as well. I'm going to actually give you a quick demo just to show you like roughly what this AI agent can do and what it feels like. But if you're interested in testing it for yourself, there's going to be a form that you can fill out that's going to allow you to literally just test it out, do a role play with it. And once you're done with that, you can book in a call to talk with me. We can talk about how you can build this for yourself, or if you want to partner with us and just have us install it for you, we can also do that as well. Let me quickly jump into this demo. Okay, so this is an automation we've built for one of our franchisor clients, which is basically an AI follow-up agent for new leads. So Facebook lead form gets submitted, AI waits 5 minutes, tags it up on the CRM, gives it a call, gives the lead a call, waits 5 minutes. If it's answered, great. It'll put it into an opportunity status and move it on our kind of tracker. If not, send more messages, then give it another call. Again, same logic. If it's answered, we're moving it along to a different stage of the process. If not, we're sending up follow-up SMS and one more call. So essentially, you're getting 3 calls within the first hour. And the AI assistant, I'll give you a quick demo of how exactly this will work. Okay, so I've got my phone here. I've just initiated this workflow that is going to call. So this would be actually just, this is a demo AI that's going to basically just show off its abilities and shows what it can do. Okay, so I'm getting a call now. Hello?
Am I speaking with Joe Crawford?
Yes, you are.
Hi, Joe. Awesome to connect with you. And Lily, the AI assistant with Franchise Accelerator. How's your day going so far?
Yeah, my day's going fine, thank you. Why are you calling?
glad to hear your day is going fine. Let me explain why I'm reaching out to you today. I saw you signed up to test how AI could help grow your franchise network. Would you be open to answering a couple of quick questions about your business and then doing a fun little role play to try it out? It'll only take about 2 minutes.
Sure. Okay, I have 2 minutes.
Perfect. Let's dive in. From what I found, it looks like your business is called Unknown and your main service is Unknown. Is that right? Or could you tell me a bit more about your business?
Yes. So my business is a plumbing franchise based in Hong Kong, and we want to franchise all over the world. This is because obviously my business doesn't exist, so it doesn't have the
Got
data.
it. A plumbing franchise based in Hong Kong aiming to expand globally. Sounds exciting. What kind of people are you usually looking for as franchisees?
Anyone with plumbing experience, and they need at least non-borrowed liquidity of 60K USD.
Got it. You're looking for franchisees with plumbing experience and at least $60,000 in non-borrowed liquidity. That's a solid starting point. Let's jump into the role play to see how this could work. You'll play a franchise lead who responded to your own advert, and I'll be your receptionist or sales assistant taking the call. Ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. Me as your assistant. Hi there, thanks for calling. I'd love to learn a bit about you. Could you tell me about your background in the plumbing industry?
Yeah, so I've been a plumber for 5 years. I was an apprentice for 2 before that,
Yeah.
and I'm now interested in starting my own business, but I don't want to take all of the risk of trying to prove everything myself. So I figured if you have an opportunity going, then I might as well jump on with you guys. So you can get the idea here about kind of.
That's fantastic. With 7 years of experience in the industry, you've got a strong foundation. Joining a franchise can definitely help reduce the risk.
And essentially all
while
it's doing
giving you
here
the
is
support and
trying to
structure
qualify the lead and decide,
this ends up
do I
being
need to
a
book
good
this person in
fit.
or not?
How soon would you want to move forward with something like this?
Probably within the next 6 weeks. And obviously we can customize this to cover whatever it is that is important to you.
It shows you're ready to take action soon. Have you had it?
So I'm going to close the demo there, but essentially we can configure that to whatever criteria you have for your specific franchise. If you're interested in testing out this AI, you're interested in talking to me about how you can build this yourself. It's actually, if you're somebody who has more, I just got a follow-up text because I called down and it's asking me, is there anything specific that would make you more interested? Okay. If you're interested in building this for yourself, genuinely it is possible. If you're somebody who has more time than you have money, I can talk you through how to build this yourself. If you're somebody who has more money to invest than you have time, then I can talk about how we could partner and actually just install this for you. There'll be a link somewhere around here to book a call. Hopefully speak to you soon and take care.